back.
Welcome back.
This is your boy LG.
This is your boy 𝕃𝕚𝕤𝕟, man. You know how we rocking.
Yes, sir. We got our co-host over there. How you doing tonight?
I am
Stay
phenomenal.
safe.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, and glad to see you all back for another episode of Ways of Wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Today, our theme is mentorship in the Black community.
We need that. We need that.
We don't really find a lot of mentorship programs or guidance for young men, especially men of color.
Right.
And the world
Sure, bro.
is like a disaster right now, just like a complete abomination at
Torn
this
up.
point. It just needs revival.
The
So
youth.
yeah, the wave of wisdom today is you cannot lead an orchestra without turning your back to the crowd.
Oh, I like that.
You cannot lead an orchestra without turning your back to the crowd. Okay.
That's facts, though.
Okay, break it down. Break it down a little bit more.
Right, you know,
People
when-
don't get it.
So the
I get it,
maestro,
but they don't get it.
right, when they're leading the orchestra,
Right.
they're facing everyone who's playing the instruments, right?
Yeah.
And everyone who's playing the instruments are facing the crowd. But the maestro, his back is towards the crowd.
Mhm.
He doesn't see the crowd at all. He's not concerned about the crowd.
You ain't worried about y'all.
His
Right,
job has nothing to do with what the crowd is doing.
You don't care what they think.
No, he's concerned about whoever's playing those instruments and making sure that they're all on key, everybody's in sync,
Mm-hmm.
and through that, he's going to talk to the crowd that he can't see.
Yeah, I think that's great because as a mentor, when you got a mentee, you worried about the work you put into them, and however they come about, like that
Right.
shows your
Right.
production. So
Right, you're not worried about all the other background noise. You're not
Mhm.
worried about the crowds. You're not worried about anything else
Right, right.
except putting that person on the right path,
right.
regardless of what's going on around them.
First. Like,
Yeah.
You know, put them first.
Right.
Or her.
So my first question to you guys
Yeah.
is, have you ever had a mentor? If so, just give us, a little bit about it, like elaborate on it a bit. And if you have not had a mentor,
Yeah.
what types of situation you feel like they could have helped you through? All right. So who wants to go first? I know it's kind of a long question.
Yeah. You want to go first?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Nate, have you ever had a mentor?
No, I never had a mentor.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been through some situations in your life where you feel like you could have benefited from it?
Yes, because I put myself in it right now because, I will be a mentor to the youth or anybody that who's struggling or what I've been through, help them out. But if I had one, man, I wouldn't, in that situation what I got myself into, I would think first before I do it. It would help me out a lot. I could follow I have a big, if it was like a big homie,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Just show me like, yo, bro,
Yeah.
don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you do that, I've been there before. So I would take heed to that. But I ain't had that. So what I went through in life, man, it was a struggle because I ain't had no mentor, no father figure, none of that in
Right.
my life. So it was hard for me because that's why I was, getting arrested. You know what I'm saying? Selling what I said because I ain't had nobody to look up to, as in show me the ropes. Really, I was just winging it. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, just trying to survive. How I feel like that's the way. So, mine was really more. So I have to find my way out, and until I found Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had, from your boxing career, you
Yeah.
had a couple different coaches, right?
Yeah.
Do you think a mentor and a coach, I mean, they can share responsibilities and roles, but do you think they're the same or they're totally different?
No, sort of. They give a little mentorship,
Right.
as in, certain things you can't do
Right.
and so forth. But it's not like all the way elaborate on it, like
Yeah.
deep, into
Right.
it. You get like a surface mentorship. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to John. I learned a lot from him as well, and George. So they gave me little.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of stuff from them as well.
Mhm.
But from little till I got to boxing, man, I had to win it on my own. So
Right.
that's what I'm talking about. So the younger you get the concept of having somebody around you,
Right.
like helping you, the further you get in life.
So if you had to seek out a mentor, right? What are some things that you would seek out for a mentor? Like what's some qualities that you like? Oh, I want to ask them to be my mentor because they hold these qualities.
Like um, I won't wonder like their words and they bond. You know, if they say something, you know, they're gonna just
Follow through.
they're gonna follow through on what they say.
Right.
And consistency. I don't want no half nothing. You know, if you say you gonna train me this day, bro, we gonna train this day, this time, no matter what. So those are the qualities, and you know, and I want a strong backbone. You know, a guy could just stand up for others as well. Not
That's right.
Yeah, not run away when the fire is on. You know, I just want a strong backbone, somebody that put his foot down, speak up, don't shy away, speak the truth. I don't want no liar neither. So I just want it's many qualities in a mentor that I would be looking for if I had a mentor. You know,
right?
I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, they kind of just fall victim to the world, society, just because a lot of people don't have a two-parent household, and even if you do have a two-parent household, when you're a teenager, you don't really want to go to a parent. You don't want to talk about certain things. So having that person that you could look up to and talk to about anything, about things that are a little bit maybe embarrassing or controversial or not cool, so that you could have that person to talk to. That's not a family member, and you could feel comfortable, and then give them some guidance. Because if you don't have it, I feel like that's where a lot of people fall into depression, or they start to do some stupid things, goofy things, just kind of.
They're trying to be something they're not.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like when we talk about the youth, I feel like it's hard for the kids to seek out a mentor, right? Because you don't really know what you're looking for, right? You know, you may look up to somebody, but you don't really know what you need. So,
right. And you don't know if you could trust them, because they might be a cool person, but you don't know if they're a reliable person.
With your business, with your business, because you can trust them with your business, though. Your business.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like the gap, because I feel like if you're going to be a mentor, like it's a sacrifice, because it's a big time commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing is when you're mentoring somebody, it's a time commitment, because you've got to be there physically and emotionally, and sometimes mentally, depending on how you're mentoring this person, right? It's from career, or it's life, or it's sports. So I think I mean, it's mentor can be broad, right? Because I know the YMCA, you said like a big brother type of thing, where people if you go to the Y, you'll be with somebody and they'll check up on you, they'll take you to lunch and stuff like that. But mentorship
I think people,
it's a big responsibility.
Go ahead, Nate.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
Like you said, there's a big responsibilities, because it is, because you have your life as well. Your family and to attend to, because you can't put your family in the back burner. You have to balance it on the way that you satisfy your kids and so forth in your home before so it's a trick.
I feel like the world today is just a very selfish generation. Like they don't care. Like you're on your own. So nobody really wants to put the extra time or effort into somebody else.
Right.
So it's hard to find a great person that genuinely will care about you, that's not related to you. Even the people that you're related to sometimes don't even really care to put that effort into you.
True.
So it's hard for kids to find that person. I don't know of too many programs nowadays, or places where people can go to find mentorship.
No.
And I feel like people think it's not even cool anymore. Like it's lame, or like, what are you doing? No, that's goofy. I don't need that. Especially guys, they probably, it's almost kind of like a stigma to it, like a therapist kind of. People don't like to go to therapists.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Or we kind of dumb it down and call him, big homie, or or uncle, or,
you
know what I'm saying? Just to make us feel good. But
true.
Yeah, I think we got to make that more of a cool thing. Like, we want everybody to feel part of a community. I think society really lacks community.
Yeah.
Good community.
Right.
You know, not just people that are just there.
Yeah.
Like you said, Nate, surface level stuff. I mean, you're gonna have that surface level mentorship from coaches and stuff like that because they're there for part of your life. You know what I mean? Right. Nate had some great boxing coaches. They instilled, I think, a lot of good things in him. Waves of wisdom after wave of wisdom with them, both of them, George and John. They were both great. But if you're not in sports or anything like that, you don't have a coach. Yeah. I don't know.
And not to cut you in. Shout out to Muhammad too, bro.
Oh, Muhammad. Yeah.
Muhammad is.
He's great. Muhammad
You call him and bounce ideas, and he he trying to guide me in a way that he's a good dude, bro.
He's a phenomenal guy.
A good dude, bro.
Good heart, genuine. Yeah. Shout out to Muhammad.
Right.
Did you have any mentors?
I would say I probably had have a mentor from a career standpoint. Again, just separating coaches and trainers from mentor. I feel like I did have to seek out a mentor. I knew in my career field, just being an engineer, I don't see a lot of colored people, right? So I think that was kind of, okay, I'm already on the fence, right? I'm already, you know what I'm saying, just under the 8 ball. So one thing in my career that was very big, just seeking out a mentor. In college, I read something about the talented 10th, where a group of people got together and just uplifted each other, right? I mean, it's more to it, but from there, just reading that and being part of a group called Black Male Initiative, it just wanted me to. I just wanted to be able to kind of carry that burden on. So to answer your question, I seeked out a mentor, and the way I seek them out is, as you get in your career and you bounce ideas off each other, you kind of get a sense of who kind of looks out for you and just kind of show you the ropes and things like that. So with that being said, I kind of gravitated towards him, asked him stuff about career and things, what he did outside to get to his level, right? So it was really just trying to seek him out and just ask questions and what does he read, what does he do this, but I had to humble myself because, as a man, you don't want to go to another man and kind of ask for mentorship or ask for this.
Right. That's another roadblock. Yeah. You don't. Yeah. Men, they're not gonna go seek out help. You know.
But
make them seem like they're weak or something.
I'm grateful for it because he was able to, after one job, I went to another job, and just because he recommended me, right? So I got another job, and then he recommended me to another job. So 2 jobs at least I got through him just by word of mouth, right? Not going through the typical interview process. I already had a good recommendation, and just just put me on little things to kind of better myself and keep me going from a career standpoint. So, but yeah, so that would, and then as far as being a mentor, I wanted to be a mentor, but me knowing how time consuming it is,
you shied away from it.
No, respectively, but
because you don't want to give somebody like a half.
But yeah, so it was a couple of kids that wanted me to mentor them, but I told them instead of being a mentor, I could be a resource. Okay. So if they need me for anything, I'm a resource to help them. But mentorship, I just to give them that yes. Yeah. But I had to break it down to them. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just because I know what a mentor is.
Right, and if you say yes, you want to be able to give them 100%.
Right. So I'm a resource to a couple of kids that come knocking. They reach out to me through social media and stuff like that.
Right.
Other than that, but yeah, I think mentorship is pivotal in a young man's growth.
Right. Of course. Go ahead, Nate. You were gonna say something.
Yeah. When we say mentorship, like a lot of people need mentorship is the one who don't have like a father that is there, because father should be your primary mentorship. Be there and stand there as a firm foundation, as a guide for the male, or So I needed the one because my father wasn't there. He was he got me here, but he got deported. So it left me hanging. So I didn't have that growing up. and a mom as well. So I was losing both parents, you know, and but that should be the prime factor in a home, a dad,
Right.
because they're supposed to be the mentorship.
But sometimes
you know?
kids, they don't want to talk to their parent.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? They don't. They want somebody that they feel like maybe can be more relatable to
I
them.
understand.
Younger.
Yeah, but sometimes yes, as that, but sometimes that happens a lot of times because
the relationship is
the relationship from the ground up.
Yeah.
So time with your kid, your son or your daughter is really pivotal. You know what I'm saying? So that they
can come to you for anything.
Yeah, so you have to spend that time, that bonding time, that nourishment, so they know that, man, you are trustworthy and you are the one that, you know, they have memories of you being there. You know, whenever if they fall, you know, you pick them up, you dust them off, you tell them okay, they could talk to you. You know what I'm saying? You know, those are the quality moments that a son or a daughter need to have that bond relationship. When they get older, they be like, man, bro, my dad ain't, you know what I'm saying? Just like how you can call your dad and your mom for everything because they was there 24/7. You know, you ain't gonna call nobody else. So that's the fact I'm trying to, you know, let them understand. But other than that, you gonna have a membership, but the primary one supposed to be your parents.
Yeah.
Do you think it's valuable? Give me your opinion on valuable as you being a dad, right? Do you think it's valuable to put your son when he get older around other men that you know are good? Meaning that, you know, they don't necessarily have to be your friends, but say you know a man that is doing this, right, in the community.
You had sent us, LG, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what you're saying reminded me of a movie that you told us to watch. What was the name of that movie?
The Forge.
The Forge.
So
you're talking about something like that, like a community like that, or like other men.
Yeah, I mean, just other men that can kind of give your child different discipline habits or different instructions or different, because, you know, you only know what you know.
Right.
You know your experiences.
That was a great movie.
Shout out, The Forge is. I recommend that to.
It's a little cheesy and the acting is a little bad, but the moral, the concept and the moral of the story is great.
Right. But yeah, where I was going where I was asking you, do you think putting your son around good men is valuable for him?
Yes,
most definitely. It's a must. That's a must.
Say that, you know, on a broad view, people that on the same level, thinking the same path is a valuable thing for you, for everyone, because that will like keep you out of, you know, this negative, because there's a lot of negative stuff going out there. So it's a crowd thing. You know what I'm saying? It's they waving over there and you waving over here. So it's the path that you took. So people that was going the same path as you, man, that's really valuable. So I will always encourage him to, you know, lead by example, and those who you see like lining up with what you're doing, man, those you could team up, because two is better than one, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So you are your circle, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a must.
Yeah.
That is a must. Whoever is going to be around has to be able to instill some sort of positivity.
Yeah.
You know,
because Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right. And how does the saying go? With kids and the growth, like how does that saying go? I forgot it.
I'm gonna pass on that.
Nah, it's a very common saying, basically saying like it takes a village. It takes a village, right? Yeah. To raise a child, right? It takes a village to raise a child, and people kind of suck nowadays. Like they have no values, no morals, just completely inconsiderate, and that's not the type of people that I want around my son. Right. So
yeah. So mentorship is key. So
it's key.
Before we go to the next question, I'm gonna go left a little bit.
Go left.
Mentorship, related on mentorship.
All right.
What do y'all think, even though it has a bad stigma, right? Do you think gangs can be a positive mentorship for some kids?
Gangs?
They can know what not to do.
But hold on, let me bless you with something real quick. What I'm saying?
They can know not what to do. I mean, what? The kids can know not what to do?
Because in a positive way, they're learning a lot of negativity, right? And they're learning a lot of consequences that come with actions, right? So they can they're learning what not to do.
No.
So gangs. So to your point, from if again, gangs, we already know what, we ain't got to name them, but we know the stigma.
Yeah.
But you're saying that by a young gentleman or young female joining the gang, you don't see a benefit, or you don't see a good side in the mentorship.
Yeah, it do. It got
It
got positive and it got negative, because
the majority of it is negative, but it has positive value, because they're getting that, they're looking for that family, right? Somebody that cares about them, somebody that can,
goes back to the home.
Goes back to the home. They're looking for somebody that can instill some value in them. It's not most likely it's not the right stuff they're instilling in them, but you might find a ride or die, type of friend, or.
But
and I'm not advocating for it.
I'm not advocating for it either. I'm just trying to find the silver lining. Like,
this is the real. Like nowadays, the kids, it's not, when they join gangs, it's not quote unquote GDs, BDs. It's more so neighborhoods now. Like, I'm in this neighborhood, you 2 blocks over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like blocks and neighborhoods.
But people don't understand, like,
when
y'all say gangs, bro, gangs everywhere. Gangs right now. Like,
correct.
Like, you can't, like, people put a name on gang. Oh yeah, GD, a bad gang, but they got good gangs. The cops is a gang. The army force is a gang. The government's a gang. Come on, bro. Like, the IRS is a gang. So everything under one umbrella is a gang. So we can't just name just the bad, like what we know. GD, all of that.
I left it unopened. That's why I'm at. I like that perspective.
So we have to understand that it's what you make it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a crew like us, we could become a gang. What type of gang we want to portray? You know what I'm saying?
What would be our name?
The blessed one.
The blessed one? Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? And then we could, No,
I don't like the BO. BO is body odor. That's what.
No, the blessed one. B1.
Okay, B1.
Yeah, B1, man, the blessed one. But I'm just saying though, hey, we could just do good. We pushing good, but we are a gang for that. So it's what you perceive your gang to be, what you want it to be. That's gonna make it, you know what I'm saying, a good thing or a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's what you're pushing. If you're pushing negativity, it's gonna be bad. You're pushing good, it's gonna be good. So we just have to put that in perspective as well, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but everything could be a gang.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So can you guys tell me of a situation where someone, like a mentor, or it doesn't have to be a mentor, but just someone completely changed your perspective on something important? Because I feel like that's what mentors do,
They change your perspective on something important?
Yeah, like if you have a very negative spin on something, and, they're bringing some enlightenment. They'll give you some, some information or enlighten your perspective. Have you ever had a situation where somebody completely changed your perspective on something?
In daily life.
Like, for me, I'll give you an example. I never really had a mentor. I had both my parents, and my mom was there. Like, she was a helicopter mom. Like, literally just there all the time. So it was great. But, I mean, but I did, I guess, have a mentor for nursing. So for those who don't know, I am a registered nurse, and that's what I do during the day. That's my day job. And when I became a nurse, I had a wonderful preceptor. She trained me. She was basically like my nursing mentor. And she trained me strictly by the book. I knew the right way to do absolutely everything. She took her time with me. She wrote out notes for me. I should call her. I haven't talked to her in a while. I still keep up with her. Her name is.
You being a bad mentor. Student.
Her name is Betsy, and I met her at North Shore Hospital. She's a phenomenal woman, very loving. I thank her so much for instilling all of her values and knowledge into me. She even let me start my first IV, because they wouldn't let us start IVs in school, which is dumb, but I guess it's a liability. So I started my first IV on her, and I got it. But she probably didn't know that she taught me this, but So I've always kind of been kind of impatient, and I don't really like to teach because I get frustrated. And I feel like people should get things quickly. Like if you're not catching on, I get frustrated and I just get irritated.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But the way that she was so patient with me, and she was kind, and she didn't make me feel stupid. She didn't make me feel dumb. Like if I could ask her any question and I wouldn't feel like, you know, oh, I'm stupid, or I should already know that, or whatever. She always made me feel comfortable coming to her to ask her for anything. And I always go back to that when I find myself getting frustrated with somebody or impatient with somebody. So she probably didn't even realize it, but she helped me on how I treat other people. Right. So now I'm not treating other people badly when they're learning.
I need her to come back. I need her to come back and reteach you.
I'm still working on it because there's still a problem. I still get frustrated. But I feel like I'm much better than what I was. So has anybody done that for you guys, where it taught you something where it just completely changed your trajectory on how you treat other people or on life or anything? It's okay if you haven't, if you can't think of anything now. If the viewers, if you guys have anybody that completely changed their view on something, drop it in the comments. Let us know. You might help somebody that had the same perspective as you.
I mean, I'm trying to think. The first thing that probably come to mind was maybe my coaching experience when I was coaching AU basketball. That's totally different than coaching the YMCA games or school ball, right? AU is a whole different beast. But I don't know. I learned, you know, my mindset was, you know, you got kids. You know, I was young, so I'm not an elder, but you know, I got probably 15 to 20 plus years on them at that time. But I had a thought process from a coach standpoint is you tell a kid, they do it your way, you know, and then, you know, if they don't do it your way, you know, discipline them with running or condition or, you know, take them out. But I was real strict coaching, you know, because I always had one mindset. And then, you know, so, but he made me change my coaching tactics just by, you know, he told me one day is you got to meet the kids where they at.
Right.
And that was kind of hard for me because you got so many different kids, so many different walks of life. So you can't coach every kid the same way. So, but again, that was kind of like a life lesson because not only kids, but just people, you know what I'm saying? People is different walks of life. They're going through different things at different times. And sometimes you got to meet them where they at, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't indulge or partake in certain activities, sometimes you know, pop out, you know, every blue moon and just, you know, meet them where they at just so they can feel that bond and know you're there. So, but it started with coaching. Just, you know, this kid, he was, you know, very mild-mannered, and the other kid would just act out in school and all this. But when I met him where he was at, it was like, okay, I redirected that energy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was probably the biggest lesson from a coaching standpoint that I took on life lessons. Just sometimes you gotta meet people where they at.
Yeah. And then also, like, since there's a lack of mentors out there, I feel like everybody should be responsible for their friends. Be responsible. If that's your friend, be responsible for them. Be a friend. Like, I feel like people people are afraid to call their friends out. Like, don't be afraid to call your friend out. If they want to be mad at you, at least they're mad at you for the right reasons.
Wow. But the reason why people don't do that, because they don't want to lose a friend. They don't want to know.
Then that's not a friend.
I feel like they not that. If that's the case, they're not that close anyway. Because if you 100 with your friend, you'll be able to tell them, "Yo, bro, you slacking. Who out the bang?" You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. And we don't see that no more because a lot of people is scared off.
You gotta call your friends out for bad behavior.
They're scared. They're scared. Oh yeah, you're gonna be mad at me. Who cares? You're gonna be mad at me, bro. I told myself, even I put this like this on my son, right? He was like, "Oh, you too harsh on him." I said, "I don't care. he go hate me for the right, not for the wrong. You know what I'm saying? He will, and when he get older, you will understand that, man. You know, my dad was right, because now as I got older, I knew when a lot of people was telling me stuff, bro. They was right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like so big headed and stuck in my ways. I missed the mark, but I have I teach him I don't care what it is, bro. You wrong, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying?
Wrong circle with that.
That's where you start though, and he will understand that. You know, when he get his kid, they're gonna be like, bro, my dad teach me this, I gotta teach you this, because when he get older, everything gonna stick.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So you just can't let him let loose like you think he's let loose like a goose. You ain't wearing none of that.
Yeah.
Even for something simple like girls,
Uh-huh.
I be seeing girls out there wearing this or wearing that, and it's like, your friends let you leave the house like that? Like,
yeah,
they let you leave like that?
Uh-huh.
I would nah.
I
I would have had to been like, nah, we're not going. Go back inside.
because it's a competition. You know what I'm saying? It's so in that stage, now it's a competition. You look dummy.
Some stuff is. I'm just talking about some stuff is just really like wild. Like, I'm not talking about something. Oh, it's a little off or whatever. I'm talking about some stuff is just wild.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that could be a little something like that.
That's true.
Or it could be bigger things. Could be, you know, an ethical thing, a moral thing, a value thing. It doesn't have to be, you know, something simple as clothes. I'm just using that as an example. But yeah, call your friends out.
Call them out.
Because then you never know. They might appreciate it.
Okay.
Not right now, but later on, when they realize that, bro,
they see a friend that's worse than them, and they like, all right, this how Stacey thought I was.
Yeah. Or like something little like Nate. If I'm leaving here, he gonna tell me if I have a booger in my nose. He not gonna let me walk out the front door with a booger hanging out my nose. Because some people, I know some people, I've had a booger in my nose before. Yeah. And I'm at work and I'm walking around with a booger hanging out my nose. You know?
My God.
And I go to the bathroom and I see the booger. And I'm like, so everybody all in my face and nobody want to tell me I got a booger in my nose? Yeah. Y'all bogus. Y'all bogus. You got me walking around here talking to doctors, all kind of people, patients.
To this day too.
Patients. Nobody want to tell me.
They whack friends. Whack.
Like whack. They don't want to tell you something that might embarrass you. Right. But whole time that you're not telling me is making me more embarrassed.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Saving you.
Right. Save me. Save me. So y'all, if I'm ever in a situation, save me.
Guess what you asked for. Don't be talking about, you embarrassed me. Nah, you told me to save me.
But I mean, like, you know, pull me to the side or something. Don't
save her. Save her. I hold y'all accountable for that.
So what's going back to mentorship? What's I guess if you were a mentor, right? If you were a mentor, what's 2 qualities you would instill in your mentee? Just 2. 2 qualities.
2. That's an easy. I'm talking consistency. Trustworthy. That's it.
You instill trustworthiness in
yes.
And consistency.
Okay.
What about you, LG?
I would instill learn how to be supportive. Support people you know and don't know. And the other one I would instill is try to be a good listener. Okay. Still, those two habits can take you far, and just being learning people and working with people and things like that.
I would say loyalty and dependability. Okay. I need to be able to count on you, and I need to make sure you're loyal.
Right. Okay. So you'll want your mentee to hold those qualities. Yeah. As being.
I mean, the ones you guys said too. I agree with both of them, but I can't use y'all. So loyalty and dependability. Okay. Right. All right. So we're gonna bring it back to the wave of wisdom, which was you cannot lead an orchestra without turning your back to the crowd. I do feel like people tend to go with the crowd, and it's up to the responsible young adults to venture off on the right path, even when it's not cool, even when you feel like it's going to be lame, or even when you feel like it makes you weak, or any of that stuff. That stuff is not valid. Those are not true aspects.
Right.
It's actually the opposite of all of that. But we got to lead people back to sanity, lead people back to standing up for what's right, to build a community so strong that you cannot tell who the leader is. Right?
Yeah. I like that.
That's how I want my circle.
Strong.
Yeah. You guys have anything else you want to talk about before we get into the goofy question of the night?
Nah, bro, we covered that.
Nah, I mean, I just want to end it out on, you know.
You got something? No,
But I was just saying, I just want to end it out as far as mentorship. If you're thinking about being a mentor or trying to seek out a mentor, you know, humble yourself, ask, because you never know, you know, closed mouths don't get fed, right? The worst they can do is say no.
Right.
And move on to the next one. If you're trying to be, you got a mentee, lead them in the right direction. You know, you may not reap the benefit right away. Don't do it for the benefit.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying, some people being mentored because they think that this mentee is going to
reach far.
Or
get to the back.
Yeah, you know, that's trash.
You know what I'm saying?
I hate that. Like, you got to make sure that whoever that you choose to be your mentor has your
best interest
but
first,
genuine.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know what
If you're a mentor and you got a mentee, be genuine.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Don't do it for the fame. Don't do it to feel good, because it may not feel good at that moment in time. You know what I'm saying? So just be patient, and you know.
But the reward supposed to be, the reward not supposed to be no money. The reward supposed to be success. As in, if you see your student be successful, bro, and that's
the
your reward.
Is paying it forward.
Yes,
but
bro.
your student may not be successful in a year or 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the long stretch, no matter where it is. That's it.
So
Agreed.
That's all I got to say.
All right, time for our goofy question of the day. If you could be any flavor of ice cream, what would it be and why?
If you could be any flavor of ice cream.
Bro, I'll go, bro. You take it.
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road?
Rocky Road.
Okay, why?
I don't know. It just sounds good. I don't eat ice cream, so I leave that.
I learned that about you the other day, and I was just so surprised. Like, who doesn't eat ice cream? Like, everybody eats ice cream.
I eat like a chocolate eclair every now and then. But you're not about to have me get a scoop of ice cream.
No? So what's your dessert of choice then?
Cookies. I'm a
cookie
man.
Okay.
Yeah, cookies.
Okay.
Cookies.
You're a cookie monster.
You got whack desserts.
Whack. The cookies are good. You don't like cookies? What's your favorite dessert?
I bake a cookie and you make your ice cream.
Yeah,
cheesecake.
Cheesecake. All right. Well, we're not talking about cheesecakes. We're talking about ice cream.
Yeah, what's your ice cream?
What's vanilla, bro? No, butter pecan. I'm tweaking.
Butter pecan?
Butter pecan is vanilla as well.
No, it's not. Well, I guess I think.
Yes, it is.
No, I think they make it with French vanilla. You're right.
Yes, bro.
But that's such a grandpa. A grandpa.
Bro, I'm old school, bro. I last forever.
So you put your
when you die,
I'm butter pecan on the cone.
What do you mean butter pecan?
How you put your butter pecan? You get a scoop of butter pecan?
No, I get it in the cup, bro. I don't really do all of that. Bro, stop, bro. You trying to? I know where you go with that. Nah, bro. No licking over here. Boy, I'm scooping everything. we ain't no licking over here. We scooping.
All right, guys. That about wraps things up for tonight. Thanks for riding the waves with us today. We hope you enjoyed the show. Before you go, make sure you hit that like, comment, share, or subscribe button. Keep chasing the tides of knowledge and catch y'all on the next wave.
And thank y'all. We got 50 subscribers. We rolled to 1,000. Appreciate all the subscribers, all the comments, showing us love. We're going to give y'all love back, and we got something for y'all.
Thank you.
We out.